This was inevitable, but it doesn't make it any less sad. The Wii U and 3DS eShops are now starting to wind down. Keep in mind these consoles are about a decade old now, and their active player base is waning, so it makes sense. Here are the direct quotes from Nintendo. As of May 23rd, 2022, it will no longer be possible to use a credit card to add funds to an account on the Nintendo eShop on Wii U or Nintendo 3DS family of systems. As of August 29th, 2022, it will no longer be possible to use a Nintendo eShop card to add funds to an account in Nintendo eShop on Wii U or the Nintendo 3DS family of systems. However, it will still be possible to redeem download codes until late March 2023. Expected? Yeah. Shitty? Still yes. I still have my Wii U hooked up to play some of these games at a better resolution while supporting Nintendo in the process. With this happening, so many games will disappear from a modern storefront. I thought that the Game Boy games on 3DS were very affordable, and I had a very fun time ripping through those at just a few dollars a pop. I was also buying some Nintendo 64 games on the Wii U so I could play them and record footage via an HDMI cable. Speaking of the Wii U, it was also a neat way to play other games on the TV, like select Game Boy Advance and DS games. Now the option to purchase all of these games will just be gone. Now, some are going to argue that there is a silver lining to all this, and that would be the Nintendo Switch Online Legacy offerings, but I will gladly not pay for those. For one, we don't get to keep those. Nintendo could theoretically remove all these games tomorrow, and then you won't have access to any of these games on Switch anymore. As long as the Wii U and 3DS that you bought these games on are still kicking, you can play these downloadable Virtual Console titles. It's not perfect, but it's better than what Nintendo is offering on the Switch. That's not to mention that the Game Boy games are absent, as well as Game Boy Advance, DS, Wii, and specific titles like Mario Party 2 for the Nintendo 64. Even for the consoles that NSO does have, their pickings are laughably small. I know I'm sounding like a negative Nancy on Nintendo, but the reality is this. This will happen to all digital storefronts someday. Remember when Sony tried to kill off the PS3 and Vita shops a while back? There was outrage, so they decided to extend it. But it will happen to those shops someday. That's why I really appreciate what Microsoft is doing with backwards compatibility. I think it is insane that I can play Banjo-Kazooie, Psychonauts, Skate 3, Viva Pinata, the original Red Dead Redemption, and Star Wars Knights of the Republic on my Series X. Some of these games span back all the way to the original Xbox, and they have resolution and FPS boosts, but even Microsoft said that this was a huge challenge and they stopped adding titles recently. To be fair though, this is way more effort than what both Nintendo and Sony are doing. I really wish these two would step up with video game preservation. I was sad to see the original Wii Shop channel went down because I forgot to do the last second splurge on everything I wanted. The original Smash Bros. Never made it to Wii U Virtual Console. I liked playing it on the original Wii because it was compatible with GameCube controllers. When I moved on from the family Wii and got my own, I forgot to buy it and now there's no legal way to. As an enthusiast, I think that video game preservation is super important. Nintendo has the history and the games. I gotta make sure I buy what I want before this store goes down. At least for me, the saddest part of this whole thing is the Virtual Console name will officially die. The Virtual Console name means a lot to me. It's where I first played certain classics, like the original Paper Mario. I was looking around for a cartridge but thought it was too expensive and took the plunge because I owned and loved the sequel on GameCube. I adored playing the original Pokemon games right there on 3DS. I finally got around to playing Earthbound for the first time on 3DS last year. I never owned an SNES or NES, so that's how I played a lot of these classics like Super Mario Bros. 3, Kirby's Adventure, Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG, a lot of Mario, among many others. I still gotta grab games like Ocarina of Time, Metroid Zero Mission, and Mario Hoops 3-on-3. The other thing that sucks about this is that there are plenty of 3DS and Wii U eShop exclusives that are just going to disappear now. There is probably very little chance of these games coming over to Switch as well. The 3DS had 2 screens and it's just such a different beast from the Switch, and the Wii U, well, at least a lot of its heavy hitters made the jump to Switch, but don't expect the smaller games to as well. It's not only the Virtual Console name that's dying, there are so many other games that are dying as well. I know many will say, pick up the physical copies, but those will skyrocket in value now for one. Here's also a fun fact for any dipshit who is actually using this argument. Did you know that not every game has a physical copy? Shocker, right? I'm also pretty annoyed by the last question that they asked in their FAQ on this topic. If you can't actually see it, you're not alone. Even Nintendo realized how tone-deaf it was and removed it. I won't read it word for word, but I'll post a snippet of it. NSO sucks asshole and I refuse to pay for it. The selection of games and emulation quality itself is laughably terrible, so I'm not going to even consider it as a viable option. I guess at the end of the day, I may just mod my Wii U. And Nintendo doesn't give a shit about the thing, why should I? The modding scene for that thing too is just absolutely insane. I'm at least happy that there is an announcement that this is happening, but once one reads the fine print, they will realize that there isn't really that much time left depending on how one pays. Payments by credit card will work on the console only until May 23rd, 2022, and payments from a Nintendo eShop card will work until August 29th, 2022. That's only a few months away. If one buys right from Nintendo's website, I think it reaches out until the March 2023 date that they mentioned earlier. So there is at least enough time for me to go back there, boot up the old Wii U and 3DS, and get a few more classics downloaded. This has always been my fear with digital gaming. This really was inevitable, but it doesn't make it any less sad.